Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. For everybody else, thank you for coming back and watching this episode of Identity and Personality Changes with Parkinson's Disease. This episode has been extremely difficult to record and get down properly. This is probably like day 3, try 6. I just want to get it right. So I've tried it in different rooms, different conditions. I'm all set up and ready to go. We have a lot of exciting information to cover, so let's get right to it. And the first thing we're going to look at is personality. What is personality? It is the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. Personality is a key component of our social and emotional selves, but it is not typically thought of as a component of our biological selves. However, it is important to remember that there is most certainly a neurologic basis for personality. Personality is in its most reductive form due to brain activity, neurons talking to each other in specific parts of the brain using specific brain chemicals. Okay, when I was thinking about and writing this episode, I was like, okay, I'm not making my own dopamine now. I'm taking this synthetic dopamine. All pretty much are taking. And it's like, I just see things differently now. I see the world differently around me. 7 years in on Parkinson's, 7 years in on meds. Everything feels just a little bit different. Is that a personality change, or is it just attributed to like different non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's, which can include a lot of unhappy ones? Why don't they ever include happy ones? Depression, apathy, lack of motivation, just wanting to be left alone, being withdrawn from society, difficult to go out, difficult to go places, just generally a loss of motivation. So how do you separate the symptoms from the changes in personality? I feel different, like a different person sometimes. I know I'm still Dave. I know in my heart of hearts, like I'm still the same person, but it just comes out differently because people see me differently and I see people differently. So yeah, things have changed. Stuff I used to love to do, like just go at a problem and just attack it. I'm not able to do that anymore because of Parkinson's. I can't work a bunch of overtime. I can't burn the candles at both ends. I have to go to bed on time and take my pills on time, or the next day is going to be very difficult. So if I've got a project on the go, like this episode, and I don't finish it that day, I can't stay up late at night and finish it. It has to wait till the next day. And I necessarily don't like doing that, but that's basically a restriction put on by Parkinson's. It's not my decision. So I do get frustrated about those things, but is that frustration a symptom of Parkinson's, or is it due to personality change? And that's a really difficult thing to decide because we can mostly treat the Parkinson's symptom, non-motor symptoms, but we can't necessarily treat someone's personality. We can't give someone medication for their personality and say, hey, you're going to be all better now if you take this pill. That's just not going to happen. And there we go. Finally, the first part of this episode I'm smoking happy with. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Okay, part 2. What defines identity? Identity encompasses the values people hold, which dictate the choices they make. An identity contains multiple roles, such as a mother, teacher, a citizen, and each role holds meaning and expectations that are internalized into one's identity. Identity continues to evolve over the course of an individual's life. I think that's a fantastic explanation of identity because like when I came into the world of Parkinson's, like when I was diagnosed into the world of Parkinson's, my identity was pretty much wrapped around what I did at work. And I really feel for a lot of us that's very similar, right? When we meet somebody new and we want to get to know them quickly, well, not quickly, it's hard to get to know people quickly, but when we meet someone new and we want to get to know them, we ask generally the question, what do you do? Right? What do you do for work? Are you married? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Where are you from? Right? We get to know their background and their history a little bit and what they're doing now. And that's generally how we get to know people the first time we meet them. And then as we get to know them better, we learn more things about them. And I feel that's generally the same for someone who would come to know me. They would ask those questions and I would give them the best answers I could. But our identity is a cumulative thing. It evolves and changes throughout our lives. So when we hit a wall, when we hit a brick wall like Parkinson's, it's like bam, everything changes. Like everything just scatters and changes. Well, it did for me anyhow, very quickly. It changed very quickly who I thought I was. I still felt I was David. Felt that was still my identity. But what I was doing quickly changed because I couldn't do my old job anymore. I couldn't perform my old tasks competently. So my identity has changed. I really feel that it has. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I feel that when you hit that brick wall of Parkinson's and our identity changes, I feel that's a very negative thing for people. And I can see how it is. I slipped into a depression as well for a little while. But over time, it's turned into a positive thing for me because now I can see, yeah, I'm still David. I'm not doing the same jobs that I did before. I'm not doing the same work. But I've got a little corner of the world in YouTube where I can talk to people and share my life with, and that does provide me with some identity. It just doesn't make me feel like I'm sitting at home alone, doing nothing and suffering from Parkinson's disease. Hey, at least I've made some wonderful friends and some nice people. This change in identity, while it's not been what I wanted, has turned into something positive that at least I can use. And for that, I am very grateful. Living with the new me is very difficult, even though I've come to terms with my identity, even though I'm coming to terms with the changes, not necessarily in my personality, but in my life. The new me is not what I expected, it's not what I wanted, but at least there's a way to reconcile the two challenges of personality and identity and at least move on with something in life. So I do thank you for watching and subscribing and liking this channel. Thank you for taking this journey together. I hope you have a good day. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.